Joining me now for more on the reaction to Saturday night's events is Bobby McDonald. He's a former Secret Service agent and current assistant professor of practice in the Criminal Justice and Criminology Department at the University of New Haven. Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to start with asking you, from what you saw this weekend, what happened and how the Secret Service reacted? Did the system work?
Well, good morning, Holly. Thank you for the invite to be with you today. I appreciate it. Yeah, ultimately the system worked, but I think there's some things that we're going to have to look at here. You know, the venue that you've been talking about is one of the largest venues in the country for a ballroom type setting. It has the ability to hold the number of people that are at this event every year. The issue of the president, vice president, and all those other political figures that are at that event, in addition to movie stars and singers and other politicians and news people, is a who's who of who is in D.C. This is a yearly event that takes place. It takes a lot of coordination, but it's on the books. So if somebody wants to do their homework on trying to develop some nefarious activity, they are able to do that because it's a known place. How ironic is that is the same location that President Reagan was shot 45 years ago, and there's been numerous modifications to that location to assist in the security plan. The service reactions on the dais the other night were terrific. I noticed that there's been some comment that the president took a little bit longer as he was delaying himself to see what was going on. You saw both details go in an opposite direction off the dais, which I think was fantastic muscle memory on how to get out of a situation but not have the details cross over. I think you're going to see a reset with respect to looking at these type of events, looking at the magnetometer checkpoints, potentially pushing those out farther away from the actual venue or the room venue. But the Secret Service has to deal with these type of issues where a hotel and a venue within the same property are both evident at events. You know, the Secret Service doesn't really want to shut down or buy out a hotel with respect to these type of events. So I think you're going to see some restructuring, tweaking of the system, but all in all, from a mission standpoint, everything went in a positive direction.
So walk us through, if you would, what likely happened in those first seconds when the man breached security and shots were fired. What does the Secret Service immediately do?
Well, the first thing that the Secret Service needs to do is verbalize that something has happened, not only to all of the poststanders in and around the perimeter of that venue, but that needs to be relayed to both of those details on the dais, which will then also have that information relayed real time through a command post situation to all the other details for the cabinet secretaries there. Secret Service is responsible for its protectees to get them out. All of the other agencies have their own agents to protect their cabinet secretary. But the idea is to verbalize something's happening. We may not know exactly what's happening at that point, but as soon as that verbalization took place, an indication that something bad was going wrong, you saw the counter-assault team envelop around the president on the dais. You saw the detail agents envelop around both protectees and get them off the dais. It's muscle memory. It's what we train for. We hope it never happens, but we're ready. And I think all in all, the Secret Service performed very well the other night, albeit we're going to have to figure out what happened with those weapons getting into the hotel and that individual sprinting through the magnetometer checkpoint towards the venue room.
And we know that this gunman was acting on his own. Do lone actors with no known history like this really present the hardest challenge for protective services?
Yeah, it's not an easy science. We've got to also worry about chemical and biological situations. We got to worry about drones. We've got to worry about planes. We've got to worry about cars coming through checkpoints. The Secret Service's plate always gets bigger. So we have to make sure that we're watching social media. We're doing as much pre-investigation in our proactive advance element as possible. But then there comes a point when we have to go into a reactive state. And that's what you saw once the verbalization of the problem last night, or the other night, excuse me, and that information got out to the customers who need to hear that. It's very important that we work with our state, local, and federal partners. There is no place that does that better than D.C. Every movement of the president, vice president, and all those other cabinet secretaries is coordinated through multi-agencies every day. So the work and cooperation that goes on in D.C. is not found anywhere else in the country because of the frequency of the work that has to be done with all those agencies.
And since the assassination attempt on President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania back in 2024, how has protocol changed, if at all?
Well, I think a lot of the methodologies have worked from a broad brush standpoint, but I think we've tweaked making sure that we're not missing things like that epic failure in Butler where we missed the top of that roof, uncalled for and unacceptable. I think anytime anything happens, and we never want anything to happen, but anytime anything happens, we need to look at the issue, fix the problem, and then reset to how to make sure that doesn't happen again. I'm not saying that bad things happening are good for the Secret Service. That's not the case. But it allows for a refocus, a readdressing of issues, and a recommitment of everybody to go out and have to be perfect at 8 in the morning and get better by 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It's a very, very difficult science.
So what do you think most people misunderstand about how close these threats can actually get?
Well, look, if the Secret Service had its way, we'd never let the president leave the White House or get out of his limousine. That's not the American way. Our politicians need to get out and press the flesh and be a part and act with people in various settings. We have to provide a robust security element anywhere the president, vice president, or any of our protectees goes. It's intelligence-based. It's asset-heavy. It needs a lot of people and things. We need to get the Secret Service and DHS funded. A lot of these people are out working every day doing what they do and may not go home at night. And that's what we have to remember, that it's the bravery of local law enforcement, state, federal law enforcement that's out there protecting our communities every day. It's a very difficult job. People are away from their families. People have to travel. They're missing nights, weekends, holidays, and their son's Little League game. It's a very stressful environment, but you saw a phenomenal reaction of those agents and other partners at the Hilton the other night when that bad actor made his move and ran towards that venue. People reacted. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. When chaos is ensuing and bullets are flying, things don't always go according to script. But we need to look at what happened, figure out why it happened, and now work towards making sure it doesn't happen again.
And with just a few seconds that we have left, I mean, this year we're celebrating America's 250th anniversary. There are a lot of events planned, public events for the president and the vice president, even the cabinet members. Do you think that they will be safe? Do you think that the Secret Service is prepared to protect those in the administration this summer as they go out and about and engage with the public for many events?
Holly, the Secret Service is very good at what it does, and it's the best at what it does. Have we had some speed bumps and trip ups over the last couple of years? Absolutely. Have we taken responsibility for those issues? I think we have. The Secret Service is in the middle of a huge hiring initiative right now, and I hope they focus on hiring the right people, not just getting their numbers built up, but focusing with high quality, well-educated people who are willing to serve the government in a very unique position, go out every day and do what they know how to do it the very best they can, and more importantly, want to get better every day. This is a lifestyle in the Secret Service. This isn't a job. It's a family and a lifestyle that people have to go out and be 110% committed to their task every single day in various places